So the members of the congregation initially protected their community, turning offers of help down from other congregations, choosing to remain insular. But as more information surfaced, it distanced itself from the minister, emphasizing his Norwegian origin, opening up for help from an external minister. So there's nothing more common to a group but a myth. Communion is not communication. So one of the strongest links to the suspects was the cell phone of the babysitter, to which the minister had sent text messages urging the murder, signed God. Had Andy Warhol had a cell phone, only God knows what would have come of it. So 1968, Valerie Solanas walks into the factory and fires a gun several times against Andy Warhol. She had wanted him to read her manuscript for the Society for Cutting Up Men. Warhol had only returned her requests with his silence, a passive authoritarian leader style, always mute, always omnipotently manipulating, branding his signature onto every product exiting the doors of the factory, where productivity took on a new meaning. So he never promised salvation to his dysfunctional congregation. The only thing assured was a high and their 15 minutes share of fame in this upside-down travesty of a collective. The tinfoil of the factory, with its theatrical economy, confuses the roles of the actors and the spectators. The stars alternate as stand-ins for the king. But this is not to be mistaken for an inclusive, de-hierarchized commune. This renewed Gesamtkunstwerk, a symbolic language of mass action and individual gestures. The actor as leader, bringing the herd together for business art. The bride of Christ, the love between a married couple as the bond keeping us together. But isn't it rather the image of the flesh and blood of Christ violently feeding us? So if we can accept Christ in the shape of a cracker, eating together, today I won't offer any ethnic food, nor will I adopt in this context so common, soft corporate way of leadership, the Apple one. A seemingly open business model, built on the ideals of the 60s West Coast hippie collective. Here, more a mimicry of a marketing spoof, promoting brands such as Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss was the one who made the Nazis look good, the designer of the SS uniform, tailoring to the vain needs of a great propaganda machine. So coming together in the name of brotherhood, entertain us, make us ecstatic, communal orgastic activity of no satisfaction. The instinct of gathering, our basic hurdle needs, riddance of our inhibitions, no personal responsibility, not even the common sacrifice with a real taste for blood can save us. Give us the bond to stick together. The human sacrifice to which Bataille was no stranger for his society Acéphale, only to realize it a dead-end proposition, a concentration of the will to meaning. From then on, he withdrew from all communitarian enterprises. So in this dualistic tension between the nullification and the celebration of the individual, is there a third place? Community is pressure, but the individual must go. This non-divisible entity cannot share. It's complete inside and out, asserting an idea of transcendence. So, not as a vehicle for immanence, a community must be in and of itself, being ecstatic of being itself. During World War II, this poster here was to be seen throughout Sweden. It reads a Swedish tiger with a double sense. A Swede is mute, that is not squealing on the system. a silent community, an accomplice. European terrorists of the 70s were not mute. Words and action aiming at, in Ulrike Meinhof's words, destroying the imperialist systems of power, politically, economically, and in militaristic terms, and the cultural fascistoid institutions, providing hegemony of the ruling elites, the communication systems for its ideological domination. So complementary to this quote, Chairman Mao once said, "Never stop a revolutionary force," about the Chinese student revolt in the 60s, which he then used towards the, shall we say, fascistoid cultural revolution. Tactically speaking, imperialism is a man-eating monster, Meinhof continues. Strategically, it's a paper tiger. This exotic animal in an inverted imperialist colonialism, both sides waging wars outside of their centers of power. It is as if they, RAF and Brigate Rosso, with their many communiques, needed justification or explanations for what they were doing, like an overcompensating artist putting words in the eyes of the beholder. Elsie de Wolfe, American interior decorating genius, introduced leopard chintz into the homes of America, following her utmost utilitarian motto, never complain, never explain. Her clients, mainly wealthy East Coast celebrities. So with the use of quite totalitarian leadership styles, many now labeled terrorists also became icons of worship on their own. In an attempt to go unnoticed, Ulrike Meinhof dyed her hair blonde during the 2 years she was on the run after the prison breakout of Andreas Bader. More innocent, more bimbo, more Aryan-looking in a state which was not about to break with its political past. So black hair, more militant, sharp thought, Giorgio. Who was he? The anonymous life of a professional terrorist. So rather than hair color, we all know that you are what you eat. A spaghetti revolution instead of manifest community life, crawling spider networks in slimy, worm-like moves. Anything may slip by. Becoming an urban guerrilla presupposes that one is immune to their Spiegel methods of the criminal, subhuman, murderer syndrome they use, writes Meinhof. It's important that one is clear about one's motivation. Those who have joined the revolutionary left just to be trendy had better be careful not to involve themselves in something from which there is no going back. So just like there's no going back from operating system 10 to 9, our most radical move might be an upgrade from Panther to Tiger in OS 10. Small risk of data loss. The other way around, nostalgically going back to Jaguar, fusing lifestyle, smart assemblage, hedonistically, egoistically realizing our full potential. Purchasing chic, radicality. Staged vertical shoot, giving commercial an alternative makeover. Then unharnessed, resurfacing again and again to the overground. As if having it both ways, or not having it at all. So our cult here believes in the possibility of art. Art über alles. Kunst macht frei. We may think that lovers and artists contain a disruptive possibility, or scientists for that sake. Sharing, as in appearing, as in co-appearing, communicating. Communication, unworking what is social, economic, technical, and institutional. Unworking instead of accomplishing meaning. Only the communication of lovers through the mouth the kiss. Eternity is expressed in the moment. These platitudes, only meaningful in the solipsistic universe of the couple until there is death. But this is not the direction, obviously. No longer an individual, you're dead. You appear in your death to us. So through death, community will reveal itself to us. It can be symbolic, but it has to be bare. The communal farce of rules and regulations, how can it offer dynamic exchange? I don't believe in tribal, hippie get-togethers. I don't believe in corporate uniform. And I don't believe in relational aesthetics, nor in brainwashed guerrilla soldiers admiring their leader. Or AA, KKK, or SS, or XX. I don't even believe in Yuko and me. But I believe that I ought to offer something. But I don't know precisely what that is. So, who believes in fists, anyhow? Maybe it's about the stomach, that gut feeling of being in touch, of in-touchness. So in compliance with the demands of Patty Hearst and the Symbionese Liberation Army in 1975, I could offer a soup kitchen, for example, to undertake that very same vertical journey, like so many known terrorists. Everything is in motion, the struggle is moving on. Guess we've got a tiger in the tank. But what about another kind of animal? Not a car. Its gut needs too much attention or renovation. Maybe it's a toy, a pink one. Or maybe it's about sliding out of this spectrum altogether. Can it be that we are in a post-community state? But how can we be beyond something which is everything? There is no experience outside of community. Without you and me together, we have nothing. So before we want super slim, eternally young, smiling, success-oriented, ego-driven individuals, before all that, we're together. We're in touch. We touch each other. Through each other, the rest articulates. So we cannot organize and we cannot produce, nor can we define and contain. It has to pass through us, happening, then dissipating, like an inoperative experience. And this is why one could say that this meeting is a failure instead of a parody. It's little less than entertainment, an organized, staged theatricality or experimentation. It's a gathering, a fictive situation which we may call art. Stay connected. So I'm going to leave you here now with this image which I found Googling for communities. Thank you.